the otherworldly beat today. Okay, we're running. We're in the green. Over here, we're in the yellow. All better than red. First treatment. Okay, good. Looks like we've affected and infected YouTube. Beautiful. Okay, you guys can watch us over on YouTube if you like. We're on the Voices of the Monstercast channel. If anything, at least check out the chat over there and pause the video so it doesn't take up any more of the streaming power, and we can at least communicate with people on there. Alrighty, what am I doing now? Gray box. This thing. What was that thing? Oh no. Right.
So unfortunate. Yes, most unfortunate indeed. Give me a moment.
This is what I want. Oh, not that. Come on now. There we go. Okay. Final checks. Checking the centaurs. Checking the unicorns. Popping out. What the hell is going on there? Come on, Arthur. Piccolo-sama has joined us over on YouTube as well. I'm here. Okay. Creative Equinox. There's our buddy. Hell yeah. Hold on. Why am I not... Why is this not popping out? Why is this not popping out? Something every man has to ask himself eventually in life. Okay, there we go. Finally, damn. Alright, let's stop this music. Alright, first of all, we'll get started here. I have a couple things I want to cover. One announcement and then one thing prior to our actual discussion. First of all, I want to say we miss you over here, Creative Equinox. He said over in the chat on YouTube, you guys can chat with him over there as well. JMPF is there as well as on Discord here. 2 places at once. That's how we do it here. He says, why are we still here? Just to suffer. Every night I feel my leg, my arm, my fingers, the body I've lost, the comrades I've lost won't stop hurting. It's like they're all still there. We are still there. We're in your dream, and this is the dream. You are.
Well, the problem is that they grow back and you lose them again. That's the worst part.
See, I knew you like spiders. I knew it. Alrighty.
Fuck off.
Okay, guys, so let's see. Is everybody on? Alright. So, what am I gonna say now? What am I gonna say? The first announcement... Oh, yes. First and most importantly to draw attention to first off is... Wait, do we need a... hold on, let's add everyone. We've got a rocky start today, and that's good. That's good. We are live. There we go. Let's get everybody informed. There we go. So the first thing I do want to mention is a video that that we uploaded yesterday on the Voices of the Monsterhood channel here, and it is a cover of the song Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult by our very own monsterite John Hockham.
It is absolutely amazing.
The Kaiju Whisperer. Yes, he's awesome. Respect to the guitar play. I've already shared my feels with John.
Again and again, how nature.
So for those of you that haven't seen it, do check it out eventually. Hopefully right after the Monstercast. And for those that have seen it, I heard Chris has. Anybody else has seen it?
No, I decided to do so now.
Awesome. It's splendid. It's wonderful guitar play. He adds in his own solos. He's good. That's all I gotta say. He doesn't screw around with the guitar. He actually plays it well. So I really enjoyed that. I'm gonna do a shout out to that video in our community tab once I get time later on our main channel. So hopefully we'll get more views. It does deserve them. Once again, Giano, very, very well done. Awesome work. Total shout out to Godzilla and respect. All right. So with that, what's the other thing? Ah, yes, Dande. Get ready. Dande, as you guys know, another monsterite here in our Monsterhood, our Discord server. He is running the challenge. It is the final day of the first challenge, and the challenge was I Monster. Or I's Monster, something I. E-Y-E. It could have been any sort of creation, artwork, music, write-ups, whatever. But let's see, somebody leaving. I'll be right back. Okay, so Dande, if you can post everybody's images now. So what we're going to do, guys, because prior to the Monstercast, 1 hour prior, we were supposed to, or, well, at least Dande and that whole event was supposed to transpire. But it's been pretty quiet, so we're going to take a short moment here at the start of the Monstercast. He's going to upload all the monsters that people created. We'll take a look at them and share our thoughts. Sound good?
Okay. Where's he going to upload them to?
Right here in the main voice cavern text area.
Okay.
Alrighty. So first one is by JMPF. His name is Nuguga. He's an eldritch demon who can be summoned when you have someone you want to punish something. He'll attack people on their dreams or in their dreams, remove their eyes and take them, the eyes, to hellish place he inhabits. They are still able to see and to witness the horrors from that place from their eternally living eyes. Naguga means eye on Otomi. They being people who used to inhabit this region. That's what I chose. Why I chose the name.
Beautiful thought. Beautifully. Very Lovecraftian, actually.
I agree. Have you guys heard of anything? I'm wondering where he got the inspiration. Because it makes me think of, I forgot his name right now. The thin guy in Labyrinth. What's the movie?
What?
Pan's Labyrinth, the Guillermo movie. But have you ever heard any horror of a monster taking your eyes or something and you still being able to use them, so you're seeing everything that goes on there?
I don't think I have, actually.
That's a really cool idea.
Really scary idea.
It is. I'm really loving it. The closest thing right now I can think to that sort of was one movie with Jessica Alba, I think called Eye or The Eye, where she was blind and she had a oh goodness, all words escape me today. Anyway, they placed somebody else's eyes into her head. So she could see again, but she was seeing like ghosts and things that the other person would have seen that owned the original eyes. But another movie it reminded me of, it was where a guy was being, what the hell is the word again? Not experimented on, dissected. What's the word, guys?
Tested.
Not tested.
What does it do? Describe its function.
Like in a doctor's office, a surgeon examined, but deeper.
Surgery.
There we go.
Dissection.
Okay. So it was a cool movie because it started with the guy getting heart transplant surgery. But
wait, is it that one called Awake? Because that fucking creeped me out.
Yeah, I think so. It's been a while since I've seen it. He's basically conscious through the whole process, but he can't move, and he can't open his eyes, and he's totally paralyzed.
Something went wrong
There's
with
more
the narcosis or something.
To the movie, other than that little horror. There's more to it, which makes it even better. But he went through the whole surgery totally conscious, which is just insane.
Well, there is that one Russian doctor that removed his own appendix.
Okay.
As in, he lied on the operating table and did the operation by himself because there was no one else qualified enough to do it.
Right.
Of course, only in Russia.
Well, I could imagine that situation when you're in dire need. All right, let's move on. But that is awesome. I really love the idea, JM. I'm surprised we haven't seen it much anywhere in books or movies.
That actually reminds me of I think it was referred to as the first science fiction story written in Bulgaria, called the Lady with the X-ray eye. Unfortunately, it does not sound anywhere near as cool as you might think. Basically, some chick has an eye operation at a special doctor, and she can now see people as skeletons with empty husks instead of as normal people.
That was what I thought. That sounds
Nice.
super cool.
And her main shtick is that she wants to nab a husband, but she wants someone rich and special who only has this empty web in their head rather than big brain, a big licious brain.
Nice.
So it's
What?
dumb.
Brains, I won't lie. Eat the brains to the
Okay.
sun before. Sure, they might think it's insane. Well, give
going
it a
to the
thought
next-
after eating that brain.
Creation here. Okay, the next one is by Dio.
Brains.
It is this pair of eyes, of red eyes with the green irises. A creature that lives in the woods that kills people who walk through it. Blood comes out of his eyes over his face, and it has tiny teeth to eat his victims if he wants. Some claws. He's 8 to 10 feet tall, and he needs to suck out blood of his victims because he needs blood to survive, and can hypnotize them by looking straight into their eyes so they don't fight back or scream. So those are the eyes. We don't see the full creature. That is left to your imagination. So that is Dio's. Thank you, Dio, for sharing.
I bet it looks like Hillary Clinton.
Very possibly. The eyes look a little bit feminine, or as if they could be feminine. All right.
Hillary
wait, sorry,
Clinton would.
And I'm sorry,
I would
I
not be
mixed
that
up.
terrified Hillary Clinton.
I mistook my Hillary's a robot, not a monster. Sorry, I get.
Hey, that's offensive.
Oops.
Yeah.
And Gargamel, what'd you say?
We robots have
Go
better
for it.
ideas than that.
Okay, and then Dande's is. So Dande says, here's Dande's, the drawing under that. I wish that image was bigger. I think the other one you posted was bigger. This one's pretty awesome looking too. The eye monster that I created is called XYTS Zits, pronounced Zits, which is an alien species that grows in rather heavily vegetated planets. Since they're carbon-based, they also breathe oxygen. However, most of their technology is organic. This is due to them having a large eye muscle and brain muscle, hard like a rock, which allows to communicate through telepathic means and can move itself via telekinesis. Because of this, they are very prejudiced towards humans and thus seek to conquer Earth for themselves as a secondary habitat. To do this, they
The typical, the trees are alive.
use small
Beautiful thing.
spores to infect plant life. These spores turn plants into miniature zits, which can either poison organisms on that planet or use their mental capabilities to alter humans via telepathy in a way to turn their genes to care for plants and in turn their future offspring into zits by using their pheromones to alter human reproductive DNA.
We need some fire to kill these things. Giant flamethrowers.
I
There we
don't
go.
think that a flamethrower would do. I need a big axe. I need anti-psychic axe.
Well, we got another
And a
level here.
lumberjack shirt.
We got
And maybe a few snacks.
we got
That's food.
telekinesis
Sonic
at
bomb.
work. Of course, we got
Having
pheromones
you-
at work.
It
I've
works
seen
very
this
violently.
thing, but it's with bugs rather than plants. It is still as immensely unsettling.
I don't know. I mean, a tree is not exactly the worst thing that could happen to you.
No, it's not the tree itself. It's like with the bugs. These things release chemicals and nonsense that basically force your entire life to be revolved around caring for them.
Right.
So literally, your entire lively aspiration is how do I care for this and help it prosper.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I'm referring to is actually an SCP. I'm pretty sure Dark Phonics would know of it. I think it was 3001, and I'm not 100% sure.
Alrighty.
I
And
get that point.
he posted another additional image which says Type A is the last ditch plan in case their plan fails. Type B is what they use to slowly change and alter the organisms on the planet so that they can enter it without hostility. The Zits plants have eyes that, upon contact of any living creature, will allow them to telepathically change their mental status and also make them use them as nothing more than normal flowers/plants. Oculi metentis. I love that he added a Latin name for them. Latin for eye harvester. Awesome. Info. I think this one's of... Are we continuing, or is this one from Griffin Phoenix? I think this one's from Phoenix
It's from
Griff.
her.
Sorry?
From Phoenix.
It is from Phoenix. Okay, great. Thank you. So the next one is from Phoenix Griffin. She posted... This was one of the first ones, which is cool. I'll try to read all of it quickly here. A creature of the mountains, the oculi... Okay, so this is the oculi mentetis. So that's the next one. Hold on. Relentless hunt for eyeballs. Yeah. This creature goes on a slow yet relentless hunt for eyeballs. It patrols the grounds for any living beings bearing eyes, organs which are considered treasure among the oculi. The oculi worship an eyeless goddess, an eyeless god, who's unable to keep any set of eyes for a long period of time according to their religious beliefs. To show their devotion to their god, the beasts harvest eyes and keep them moist until the day of the ritual. The ritual involving the oculi dump their year-long stock into statues with stony shoots, the shoots leading to somewhere deep underground. The monsters believe it is their god that rests in the planet's core, but it remains to be seen if that is true. The
Get
oculi
the planet cracker!
are capable of turning on one another in order to harvest the highest amount of eyes possible, even going so far as to tear the eyes out from the ones they stole from each other. So on an oculi with the largest collection is believed to obtain an increase in fortune for the rest of the year. Okay, so it's about fortune, thus ensuring their survival and higher ranked place in the afterlife. The oculi can scoop out eyes easily. Here's the image, guys. So they scoop them out and place them in this kind of bucket structure that they are. Easily with two-pronged tongue, despite being skinny with arms, it can hold being in place while harvesting. So it can hold you in place while it's doing that easily. The oculi's mouth, there are extra tongues at the top of the mouth to maintain the eyes within. The eyeless god, and keep them moist, the eyeless god. According to the ancient symbol painted onto stone, the eyeless god is called Cecil Expiravit. Cecil is a god once completely covered in eyes until it stared at another god for too long. The fellow god in Uria, out of annoyance, caused Cecil to have all of its eyes rot and fall out. To really set the detail, she also cursed its sockets to rot away at replacement eyes within minutes. Cecil desires to seek vengeance against this god and wishes to lift the curse. The oculi worship this god, for it is the creator of them and grants great harvesters to a sacred heaven, maybe, or scared. The more eyes collected, the more worthy the rank the oculi is. Lower ranked oculi can inhabit the heaven with less authority and rights, and oculi who do not harvest all do not get a place in heaven. Their spirits are left to fade away. So, all in all, if you're an oculi, you gather as many... So, in short, guys, in summary, you gather as many eyes as you can, possibly. Then there's a big ritual where everybody takes their eyes and dumps them into statues that have long shoots that go into the ground. If you... the most eyes that you send, the better, as you get a better place in heaven in the afterlife. Lovely. My question is, where do the eyes
Really
truly
creepy,
go?
too.
I wonder if there's like...
Really creepy.
Yeah, I wonder if there's some kind of conspiracy among the oculi where the eyes actually just go somewhere down into the ground and nothing happens, or somebody just feeds on them, or if it actually, they do go into the earth and something spiritual happens in there. I wonder what goes on under the earth.
Who knows? Nobody can see they go down there. Get it? It's an eye joke.
Well, unless the eyes are still active.
Garrett.
Well, I can certainly say that I didn't see that coming.
Anyway, I love it. I love the idea, the whole story behind it. The structure, the tongues licking the eyes constantly. Pretty awesome. It kept making me think of the Monsterhood and how people get ranks here. Except it's watermelons. Small difference. Maybe. Okay, let's move on to the next one then. The Eternal Turtle. This is, let's see, by Raincrawler, I believe. The Alchemist.
Hi, Walk.
Hello. Let's see. Before Alchemist design the turtle. Okay, so let me start here. This is a lot of reading too, and it's not fair if I don't read something now. But we're almost done. Okay. Frederick Thorne was an English alchemist who forged the turtle eye talisman on the 18th century. Before the alchemist Frederick Thorne designed the turtle eye, there was not a complete explanation how Ukobaz was summoned, but the evidence of a similar creature, many paintings, several cultures from times before of the god. Okay, I'm trying to understand it. So let's take a look at the image. Here we have Frederick Thorne here. And he designed the turtle eye, the talisman. So now we talk about the talisman. I think the talisman is the actual monster. No, not yet. Let's see. The talisman, it is said that... These are really creative. I'm impressed with the creativity here. The talisman, it is said that this artifact has the ability to invoke a creature called Ukobaz. Experts on this subject theorize that the triangular shape of the talisman represents his left edge of turbulent deep oceans. The right edge symbolizes endless space of the universe, and top edge continues to be a mystery. But the philosopher Pierre from France thought that it represents the knowledge that the humans are not able to acquire. Nice. Okay, so the three sides of this talisman. Ukobaz is a creature that once summoned. His appearance is just an eye with something that is similar to a tail. Nice. It's like a drawing I did once on WOM. In this status, he will design a contract, and after the human signs it, Ukobaz will transform into... So this is how you summon it. First, it's an eye. He creates a contract. Then the human signs it. Ukobaz will transform into a creature approximately 1.5 meters tall, and he would grow full size nearly 3 meters. Nice. So about 9 feet tall at full height. Here is the contract image and the pendulum or the pendant, and then the eye that he becomes first when you summon him. Ukobaz gives you whoever invoked him the gift of the knowledge. Some theorize that many empires have summoned him from the Egyptians, also Roman and Greek empires, and even for Adolf Hitler. Führer. Nowadays, it is heavily suggested that the secret societies obtained their resources because of Ukobaz. Ooh, love this. All the humans that invoked Ukobaz used the emblem of the eagle for some reason, such as the pharaohs with Osiris and the Romans and Equila Imperial, and also the Nazis with the Reichsadler. So here
I
is
mean
the
that the United States is also, like the founding fathers, also summoned him because we have the bald eagle as our symbol. Our national bird, bald eagle.
Mhm.
Oh my, does that mean the United States summoned Ukobaz?
Very likely. Emblem.
Scary.
Interesting. So here is an image of him at 1.5 meters, or 1.5 meters. And then here is
Yes, 1.5 is 1.5 meters.
him at full height. I believe it says the god. No, that is the god. So that's maybe not him. Ukobaz is just a slave, a harbinger of an unknown god. Frederick Thorne wrote about the master of Ukobaz, the eternal turtle that watch over us with the eye that never closes. We want his knowledge, and he wants our souls. All right, beautiful. That last image, it really, when I first saw it, it reminded me of the Fimmers. I made a video about Fimmers a while back, those one-eyed fiends.
You mean the Fimir, correct?
Yeah, Fimir, of Warhammer. Very similar, one-eyed, except this guy has a shell and no tail, whereas the Fimirs have a tail with a club at the end, and they're more lizard-like. Very similar, though. Very similar. Okay. Well, that is it. Okay, guys. I would like to hear your thoughts. Which you liked most out of these? Why?
To be fair, I was most intrigued actually by the first one, the thing that steals your eyes, but you can still use them. Because that way, depending on where it stores it, perhaps you can watch it in the shower.
All right.
Yeah,
Depending on
I'm
where
not
it
sure I'd
takes-
want to do that. I think I'd rather my eyes still be in my head.
It takes showers from all the eyes crying upon him.
Yeah, that makes it so much better.
Let's see here. Let's take a look. Any other thoughts from our voices, from our texts? These were pretty awesome. Dante, did you guys decide on a winner or anything? You liked Rain Crawlers? Rain Crawlers, which is The last one I read, yeah. That one started out, I was wondering where we're going with the alchemist Frederick and all that, but that turned out pretty impressive and interesting as well. Not sure yet. I think people posted theirs and needed to take off. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna say from my end while you guys ponder this, I think the first one was maybe not as complex, but again, I love the idea of it that your eye just goes with the creature and it's still active. It's like a curse. In addition to the whole terror of it. So that's pretty wild. I liked, as far as the artwork, maybe one of my favorites is the one Dande posted with the plant monsters. And he had a whole process of taking over civilizations there, which I liked. But as far as the lore, for the lore, I might have to give it to either Griffin with her ritual and eyeballs and all that, or maybe this Frederick, maybe the Frederick one for the creativity. Not Frederick one, the Raincrawlers one. I like the whole process there, how you have to summon it and the stages it goes through. That was pretty awesome. So those are my thoughts. I had to break it down. So everybody's a winner. Cue song by Hot
Huzzah.
Chocolate. Any other thoughts, guys?
Yeah.
Gargamel, did you have a favorite?
I already mentioned mine.
I am uncertain. All of these was really good.
They were.
Yeah,
Damn good.
they were. They were pretty great. And you haven't noticed me at all.
Boggo, how the hell you doing?
I've been doing all right. Been a little busy as of late, you know.
I hear ya. Okay. All right, guys. If no more thoughts, I'll give you
Also,
one.
I have a
Yes.
headache.
I'm sorry to hear it.
So-
Eat an eyeball and you'll feel better. Okay. Anybody
know.
else have anything to share about the shares, the eyeball shares? If not, then we'll go into our topic. 3, a 2, a 1. Okay. That is that. Let's check out our YouTubers. I'm going to rewatch. Okay, cool. All right, guys. So the topic today, and thank you everybody that joined Dande's challenge. Dande, did you figure out the next challenge, what it's going to be at? Any ideas, Dande? I can mention it right now, by the way. And remember, guys, your creations can be anything artistic. Well, anything. It'll end up being artistic. Thank you. Or autistic. We're open here. I'll post it on Monday.
I know you were saying artistic, but
No.
it sounded like you were saying autistic, and I was...
Yes, I did at the end. Ha. Okay, so Dundee says he'll post it on July 1st, so keep an eye out for that. It's going to be another challenge, and it's going to have a whole month, and any type of creations. They can be write-up, songs, anything, drawings, paintings, sculpts. But this was really awesome. I love the outcome. I hope we can store them somewhere. Maybe I'll make a cavern, a storage cavern where we can store all these awesome things so they don't go lost in time and give some respect. Okay, guys. So today's topic is Monsters of Folklore, or Folklore Monsters. I guess to start the topic off, and something that C asked at the beginning, I think is a good question. What makes a folklore monster a folklore monster? What are your thoughts, ladies and gents?
May I speak?
Yes.
Ooh, that
Please
was
do.
voice crack.
Mhm.
Oof. I think that it has to have like roots going back in usually multiple tales of creatures that often had some sort of what's it called? Some sort of thing they were trying to tell you, like the Kelpie was a warning for kids to not touch a strange horse, or stories about hags
Mhm.
or people giving deals to people that sounded too good to be true would
So some kind of
end up being too good to be true.
like lessons or morals.
Yeah, those were the words I was trying to rememberize, but I couldn't.
Nice. I didn't think of that.
Can I say mine real quick? I actually gotta bounce. I got some sanding to do
Okay, that's cool.
pretty quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of my favorites is the lindworm. For people who aren't aware of what exactly the lindworm is, it is technically classified as a type of dragon, but it is basically a serpent-like creature with 2 arms.
Awesome.
There are multiple stories about it that I particularly enjoy. My uh One of these stories goes along the lines of a lady can't have children, so she goes to an old woman and she's like, "Hey, please, I I need children. You're an old magical lady, probably. I don't know." She's like, "Yeah, sure. Eat these 2 onions." So she peels one onion and eats it, and then she eats the other. And she gives birth to twins. One of them is an immaculate, beautiful baby boy, and the other is the lindworm. And it's covered in runes, and it's a serpent and everything. And
So double success.
yeah, in my opinion, yeah, that's the perfect sibling right there. Uh, but this lindworm saw this woman that fell in love with its brother. It's like, I want a wife. Why won't anybody court me? And
Because
so
they're too scared of your power.
yeah, and so uh, women were convinced to try to come and try and socialize with this thing, and when they'd react in such disgust, it would eat them. In
Lovely. That's
in
definitely
a
the the
in a
best way to
painful
react when someone
But
and
like
it's
in
a
the
someone
fun
protects
way or the not fun way?
Fuck off, Chris.
I'd like to imagine that either way is the fun way.
Ew. Ew. And someone left immediately as this was said.
How romantic.
So anyways,
Says Equinox.
eventually some farm girl was like, "Hey," she went to the hag and she's like, I don't know what to do. I've been volunteered to try and court it."
Hmm.
And she's like, "Okay, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna put on all of your clothes, all of your sets of clothes, and when it asks to lay with you, say that it must shed a layer of its skin for every piece of clothing that you take off. Eventually, it peels off so many layers of skin that it turns out to just be a normal, handsome guy on the inside."
Ew.
And I found that boring. I like the other one where it comes out of this well and it's got a curse on it. Like
Yeah.
if the person who kills it has to kill the first thing they see, and because it's still sort of like this holy creature, even if it doesn't have this nicest way of being. It's sacred, not holy.
Right.
And so this man puts on some armor with spikes, and he goes out to fight it. And his father was to let out a dog when he would be coming close to home after he slayed it, because it tried to crush him like a snake and impaled itself on the spikes, killing it.
Oh, okay.
And so he started coming home, and as fate would have it, you can't
you can't what?
What?
Did that just be a cutout?
You can't cut out there.
You can't just trick your way out of a prophecy. So this guy was like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna have to kill this dog," and then his father forgets and runs out to embrace him, forcing his son to strike him down. That's the end of the
Prophecies
story.
are stupid.
Where is
A lot of folklore is, but I just like the lindworm.
Mm-hmm. It is.
It's kind
very
of
cool.
similar to the story in the Bible. I can't remember what his name was, where he said that he prayed to God and said, if you let me win this battle, I will kill for you. Like the first thing I see, and it turns out that his
Yeah.
own daughter, who like ran out to embrace him and had to kill his daughter.
Yeah, no, that's pretty similar to that. Maybe they have roots in the.
I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe.
What are the origins?
Anyway,
Or what country is the origin of this creature?
I believe one of the places was Welsh.
I mean,
There's
Okay.
been stories about the lindworm in a few places.
Gotcha. Awesome. I like it.
Yeah. Anyways, gonna go.
Oh, goodbye.
Sorry that you don't get to hear my beautiful voice talking about your guys' things. I'll watch.
It's okay. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
I like that.
a good time.
He's gone, just like a lindworm, into the sky.
Huh.
All right. Well, that was cool. And he still managed to figure out something that was sort of dragonish in nature, as that is Bog's approach. So, cool. Okay, guys. First of all, any thoughts on the lindworm?
Interesting.
I like
It is
the
most
depth of
certainly
it.
a different kind of monster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's definitely more, a happy ending. A happy ending.
Louisiana Dog says, "Man, I love dragons, dragon creatures, and
That is a valid
xenomorphs.
statement.
I love dragons too. Always have." Me too. Pro says it's it. Louis says most famous Mexican folklore creature is a duende. Duende. Okay, so guys, let's continue the discussion as Bog partly answered as well of what a folklore monster is. Do you guys have anything to add to that? He kind of was saying that they were based largely upon sort of teaching a moral of the story or a lesson. What do you guys think? It's not quite cryptozoology, right? It is a...
I'm not very sure.
It can be. It seems folklore creatures would be sort of cryptozoology, as people would largely believe in them at the time. But they seem to all have one thing in common, and that is that they do have a story behind them. There's a little bit more of an in-depth thing. It's not, say, just a gnome, but these gnomes come to your house, they clean your house, or whatever. There's always some sort of, like, cultural story. I think the key word behind folklore monster is kind of cultural. It has a lot to do with that particular society and the people there.
So would the Jersey Devil be considered a folklore monster as well as a cryptid?
I think it'd be,
Technically?
yeah, definitely on the border
Because
there.
about Mrs. Leeds, having so many children, that and then eventually, begging,
Mm-hmm.
like saying that the 13th one should be a demon because she didn't want to have any more children. And I think the story might have been one of the earliest attempts to argue against birth control.
Interesting.
Not really sure though.
Right. Well, that's an interesting thought, though. It did become pretty much an urban legend, right? And I think legend is a good part of folklore, too, or what a folklore monster becomes or could be. So, yeah, I think once the word legend starts being flung around with a creature, I think that kind of, puts it in the frame of folklore. Arthur, you have to Google duendes. They are like Mexican mischievous goblins. I certainly will try to remember to do that. JMPF. Fan of goblins here. Sounds like kids. By the way, we do have a video that Gatekeeper made a while back, one of the Monsterites that was making videos with us. about the different types of goblins, and he was doing all the different types from folklore. I do recommend you guys check out that video, as it is folklore monster related. Okay, so I guess we have the folklore term kind of covered here, right? Unless anybody has some grievances on how we categorized
That makes
it.
sense now. I'm going to think folklore stories I read
No,
back
I
when,
don't have any grievances.
when I was younger.
Okay, because I think that's something that would distinguish it between like a crypto and folklore. Like if you just got something walking around like just an unknown Bigfoot, just a phenomenon, we don't know what it is, we don't know anything about it, there's not many stories, that's, a crypto. Some people have seen it. But what makes a crypto more on the edge of folklore is, well, there's a particular species of Bigfoot. They have this legend of being these gods to these people and so on and so forth. It kind of goes along with the society and blends with the culture and becomes a part of the culture. So, okay, guys, let's share what you guys have. We're just going to do it how you feel comfortable. So I don't have any specific way here set up. So would Bog already shared? Who would like to go next? Anybody volunteer?
Mine is a really short one because you see, I have on the previous time we had this particular topic, I talked about the Leshy, the tree people that protect the forest.
Mm-hmm.
But I've already done that. I've already done Baba Yaga to death, basically.
Right.
So instead, I'm going to mention one that I very recently learned. So one of my colleagues at work said she got a book as a gift, which told of many like old Bulgarian legends, and plenty of them had weird monsters in them. Apparently, we have aside from these Strigoi, we have our own version of vampires that are not are not like the normal ones. They are instead amorphous blobs of flesh that go around seeking other stuff made of
Hello?
flesh,
Did
and when
anyone
they
say
touch
anything?
you, yes, and when they fight something else made of flesh, they literally absorb it into their own biomass.
Hello?
Really? Okay.
I missed.
It sounds somewhat like almost like a modern thought.
The thing?
I know, but apparently this thing is a really like a really old from
Wow.
like old folklore tales,
And
and
they
it's allegedly the Bulgarian version of vampires.
okay. Do go on, Chris.
And that is literally all I know about it.
Okay. My question is when you talk to flesh, but then you mention vampires. So in that, first of all, what culture does this stem from, or what country?
Bulgaria, my home
Bulgaria.
country.
Okay, nice. Any images, or can I find something?
I don't know. I don't know what their name is. I was informed that they are the Bulgarian vampires, basically. Amorphous blobs of flesh that
Uh-huh.
go around looking for other things made out of flesh. When upon touching them, they absorb them into themselves and become more powerful and supposedly bigger.
Okay. Vampire could be okay. So what I was thinking here, guys, was ghoul, right? I'm not goofing around here, but why not call these a ghoul? But again, the word vampire is a lot more general, a lot more major and international than the word ghoul. Because I was wondering, why wouldn't these be considered or called ghouls instead?
Yeah,
I think it's because of the whole your flesh and blood being sucked out of you into a greater whole of amorphous flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that might be why. I do have a monster from folklore to discuss a little bit.
Alrighty. Any questions on Chris's share there? I would like to track down the name if anybody out there can track that down. That'd be great. Love, what are those monsters called? Fleshy type monsters like necromorphs and such. There's a particular word for them. Fleshy monsters? No? Anybody? Body
Nope, I
horror
have no
monster.
idea.
I guess body horror. I forgot. I know Pro knows
Yeah,
it
like
because he's used
body
it
odor,
before.
definitely.
Definitely.
Okay. All right,
You can make
guys.
a good horror movie, Chris. You can make a good horror movie about those.
I don't know.
You mentioned, Chris, that they don't really have a shape to them. So are they humanoid shape or are they just like blobs?
Amorphous blobs of flesh.
Okay. Sexy. Alrighty.
Is there any way to kill them?
Fire, I suppose.
Right, but nothing like
Again,
particular.
this was literally told to me in in the span of 2 minutes as my colleague was leaving work.
Nice.
Oh.
So he just said amorphous blob that sucks on flesh and blood. And I'm presuming that the only way to kill such a thing would be, fire.
I mean, you could also squish it to.
Maybe it can regrow, who knows?
Right.
And
Okay.
nuts are you?
And maybe it can turn into. Maybe it could turn into a nice paste if you squish it the right.
All right, Gargamel, you wanted to go next? What is your folklore monster?
Fairies.
Nice, okay.
I know it's pretty general, but I'm thinking the fairies, and I think in Greenland there are people. They were rebuild like roads, like entirely in order to, I think, like the fairy mounds to keep the fairy mounds from being destroyed, or is it something else because they're like little tiny people that they believe in there that you angry.
Okay.
I mean,
And also fairies in general, because they are in a lot of different folklore about fairies.
Right. Have you guys seen any fairy movies? There's one in particular I'm thinking about. It's based on sort of like loosely a true. Well, no, it's based on a true story. The movie pushes it a little bit into maybe fantasy more, right? But it's where two little girls kind of announce that they saw fairies, and then they take a camera. They took photos of them. And after further researching it, I found that a lot of the photos of the fairies were indeed faked, but there's one that, like, researchers or analysis people that analyze photos couldn't really spot how it could be faked. That doesn't say that it's still not, right? It was just a really well done fake of a photo, a black and white photo of fairies. I think it was called Fairy Tale, the movie. Anybody heard of it?
I think I might have heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Okay. Let me see if I can get an image of it here. I'm sure in Bulgaria, Chris, you guys have old tales of fairies as well?
We do, though it's they're mostly just forest spirits, the likes of nymphs and what do you call it? Samudivi, or essentially forest water spirits that are very pretty and run away when people that are not of the forest approach because they don't want to be seen and possibly harassed sexually.
Mm-hmm.
As in, they want people fall in love with them and they want to,
Yeah.
get in touch, so to say. So they try to stay away and
Okay.
hide in like the shape of trees,
that
grass,
sounds
or
a lot
water.
like the elves from Norfolk.
Yeah, except
Elves are shy creatures that really doesn't want to interact with humans and not beyond tricking and pulling jokes.
Again, you
Yeah,
can't
but
blame
these
them.
these are just blue/green forest/water ladies that are very pretty and oftentimes play music
Okay.
on like
That sounds
flutes
like
and stuff.
nymphs or the classical definition.
Yes,
Right, right.
yes, nymphs and samudivi, basically that.
Yeah.
There is the occasional mischievous spirit, I guess, but basically that is what I'm aware of.
Okay. Yeah, the whole folklore, fairy folklore is pretty fascinating. And again, the word fairy can interchangeably sometimes go with other creatures that don't look very fairy-like. Like, again, we've mentioned in the past, elves and nymphs and even trolls. They're of that category.
I mean, they all
in
do
certain
lie on
cultures.
that supernatural.
The Fae
The
creatures.
Fae. Correct.
They do,
Yeah.
but then dragons rely on the supernatural element to a large degree too, but they're not considered.
No, that's the
fairies, right?
thing. If you see a giant lizard, probably nobody in Europe did. I don't think anyone in Europe saw a giant lizard, but they knew what a lizard was.
And
That doesn't exclude the fact that they can set it apart because they have. There's a difference between folklore and superstition. The difference is that they are. Well, folklore is built over generations based upon something that might have happened, whereas superstition is something that people think that happened. And while maybe both are right, but one of them are rooted in a very fundamental truth. Okay, that's not fundamental, but it's the fact something happened that caused this to become a story and later mythology. Other is something where there's a wolf chasing the sun, and that is why it moves.
there's also its sister is chasing the moon.
Yes, I know, but I mean, the wolf chasing the celestial object. That's kind of weird.
And there's also something I found in particular thing fairy related that I find quite fascinating is the fairy rings. You know, when a tree is cut down, mushrooms grow around its stump and form a fairy ring as the tree stump
Yes, a
withers
natural
away.
circle.
Yes, I've
but,
heard of those definitely.
the
I've heard about
people
those,
of
you
the
didn't.
UK and Ireland consider those to be to the fairies. Those are the graves of trees. So and it's a place where fairies gather. So if you step on one, the fairies are going to mess you up, son. And it's believed to such a point that in Ireland, when new roads are created or paved, they are still done made in a way around any fairy circles. They don't go over them.
Yeah, that's something I
Well-
did want to bring up. Yeah, the whole fairy rings and why the whole fairy. What?
I mean, Ireland was the country that gave us literally the leprechaun, so I would not be surprised. Again, I think the leprechaun was actually the stereotypical, what's it called, Irishman for a moment. I mean, it represented the stereotypical Irishman.
Anyway, fascinating topic. I enjoyed a video Tom Sheridan did. He talks about odd stuff like that, but the relation between what people see as a UFO abduction, alien abduction, and what people would experience at fairy rings, just this other state of mind. But that was pretty fascinating. I think we can go into that more in depth in the future too.
Well, you see, I'm not a spiritual person, and to me, the whole fairy ring and other ghosts, demons, and the like is nonsense. But I wouldn't try to mess with it.
Well, there's something called superstition, and there's something called being on the safe side of evil spirits.
You see,
Well, I wouldn't really care that much. The
I
only way
mean, the
would
difference is minute. One of them is superstition. The other one is called self-preservation.
Well, it is both. It is superstition because there's no reason to think it's true. That said, I might not do it because not because I'd be afraid what the spirits would do to me, but I might be afraid of offending the locals and what the locals might treat me poorly because I didn't respect their culture. That might be
That's
something
always
that
one.
Oh no,
Sure.
no. I literally do not care about the locals' perception. Oh, technically I do for that, but I specifically, to me, that stuff is nonsense. However, I don't want to be the one testing whether I'm right or wrong.
Right.
That is
Gotcha.
the fact.
Well,
I think Chris-
it's
Right.
already been discredited, the notion that they're caused by the fairies. Scientists have done tests on it.
No, it's not
Every
that
time
the
we-
circle is caused by a fairy. It's that when you step into a circle and offend the fairies, what the fairies will do to you
Right. What happens?
is what I'm referring to.
Now, the thing is that nature,
They'd
that
probably
human.
make a good horror movie. Make it like a good horror movie. Make it take place in Ireland, and have someone disrespect the fairy circle, and all these horrible things happening to him and his friends because of it.
Well, that reminds me of Artemis Fowl now you mention it, but never mind that.
Which is interesting because just above, Dande mentioned that he read a book, a horror book on fairies. Again, that sounds interesting.
Look, fairies have
Horror and
supernatural abilities, and what some would consider dangerous abilities, due to the simple fact that we have no ways of counteracting them or understanding them in such a way, to such an extent that it's helpless to fight it.
Right.
I mean, you can't swat a fairy like you can swat a fly, or maybe shoot a badger. But
Technically, you can.
shush you! I'm telling a point about some things you cannot touch. That's why it's supernatural.
Right, or supernatural, or just a point of understanding we haven't hit yet, right? I'd
Well,
like
that's
to...
the thing. I think I can quote the Godzilla movie and song when I say that there is an arrogance in believing that we control nature and not the other way
Right,
around.
right.
The thing is that there are forces that we cannot understand in this world,
Yeah.
and are things we do not truly perceive as other creatures do.
Yeah.
And while it may be fairies or not, the thing is that there are such things that we cannot put words into that escapes our notice and our comprehension.
Where's that harp? Keep going. Oh,
I
don't
mean,
stop.
folklore
Good, good.
is basically superstition
is.
taken into culture. So, what can I say?
Damn it.
Something must have happened to cause it. That is logical to expect. And maybe the stories increased, or someone believed it. Or maybe multiple people came to the same idea at the same time. Can't hear anything.
Well, we're listening to you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. But the thing is that folklore has the beautiful side of being influenced by the people that makes it. And that shapes the people, or otherwise, the tale is told and shaped by the people that experienced it. And throughout ages, the same tale will be a different story across, Europe and later. I mean, gnomes have several reputations from being anything from goblins to friendly house spirits, example. It's the same thing with mysterious things that happen inside your house that you do not understand, and sometimes it's beneficial to you, or sometimes it's trickster. And now suddenly there is a guy that you put porridge up to every once in a while and hope that he doesn't eat your shoes. Well, worse, your eyes.
The only thing gnomes are good for is punting.
No. Listen, there is a common misconception about gnomes. They have such a range. It's like saying that, the term human, that covers every single term human, but it doesn't cover and describe every single type of human, does it now?
Punt gnomes.
Ah, well, fair enough. Okay, I cannot change my mind. The thing is that, in this case, there is these things that man cannot perceive, as well as other creatures can, and thus it will tend to the most logical solution. And maybe not the most logical solution, but the solution that will give them peace. Yes, in this case, let's say that the fairy circles are so occurring so many times all around Europe because it's a natural phenomenon. But how do you explain that? Magic! And then they burn a witch or two. Don't mind me.
Right.
Yeah, I'm done ranting. Sorry, go on.
If you call that a rant, that was a beautiful rant. See, thank you very much. Thank you for showing a lovely portion of sometimes what is a dark human historic reality. Thank you.
Yes,
C.
but it is an interpretation. I cannot be correct all the time,
No.
and I most certainly ain't. Don't believe everything I say.
The harp
mean,
and
some
I
things-
thank you.
Never
Excellent.
lose. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you, Chris. You truly have the charm to say so.
I know.
We thank you, C. If you want to rewatch this Monstercast later, C, with the harp, enjoy. Thank you very much.
Oh, great.
Alrighty. Okay, I think we're done. We can add on to that. That's a big topic. I'm still glad you brought that up. Who was that again? That was Gargamel. Thank you, Gargamel. Fairies. I need to do some videos on fairies. I do enjoy the topic very much.
Very much.
Very much. Keep an eye on it.
You're welcome, Arthur.
Cool. All right, let's go on to Darth.
I could have a talk about monsters, folklore monsters, without bringing up fairies because they're the ones that I think of the most when I think of folklore monsters.
Well,
I'd have
I will
to agree,
agree
they-
that fairies has
They
a
certainly
wide definition of things.
are one of the most iconic, and if you were to make a symbol or choose a monster to symbolize folklore monsters, I think fairies would be a wonderful choice. All right, Darth Vonix in text shared. Mine is the in English, he's called the big man, but he's called Grobman. Grobman. I think that's how you would pronounce that. Grobman is the inspiration for Slender Man. It's a German folklore in Schwarzwald, English Black Forest. It looks like Slender Man without the fancy suit. So, like an elongated humanoid figure. Very thin and long, tall. It lures kids that don't listen to their parents into the Schwarzwald, the Black Forest, and kills them. Sometimes it goes to villages in the night and tries to wake up kids, and if they wake, it takes them. Oh, so only when they wake, it takes them. So don't wake up, or don't act like you're waking up when
Don't wake up.
the big man comes
Oh.
to you. But I don't know if it can teleport. He doesn't know if it can teleport. Okay. That's a cool monster versus. I know there's a Slender Man. There's, I think, Tall Man is a similar monster out there, and I think
I think
media.
the tall man was from Phantasm.
Okay.
I don't think he was
Like folklore, right?
from Folklore. Then again, I could be wrong.
I think you're right.
He's called the guy. Yeah, the villain. Phantasm is called Tall Man. There could be another Tall Man though from Folklore.
Cool. And then this big man. It'd be cool to make a video on all the tall men kind of monsters, tall humanoid figure type monsters, where we can already include these three. So interesting. They're Darth Phonics, and that is from German folklore. I wonder if Dio is aware of this one. Dio, do you know of this monster since you are from there as well? And has anybody else heard of him? Big man. Grobman.
I haven't.
Interesting. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing it. Once again, if you are a child and you're sleeping and somebody wants to wake you up in a soft, kind of suspicious manner, put my suspicious eyes up.
Okay, it's not like you're going to walk over to a baby or something, a child, and be
Then
like,
don't wake
up!
Right, if it's going to be that, then it's going to be either your mother or sibling. But if it's going to be suspicious method, then
I mean,
ignore it.
if something suspicious is in your house and is trying to wake you, wouldn't you try to wake up to find out what the fuck is going on? I mean, I wouldn't fault anyone that does.
See, if the image representations that are being posted are actual or like a relevant size, I'm just gonna say to any of these creatures that are potentially watching, I'm a big man, and I tend to flail a lot in my sleep. Also, I'm a practitioner of the struggle, so try to touch me, especially if I'm cranky when I'm waking up. You'll get punched in the face.
Nice.
Very hard. You have been warned.
Chris, are you saying
Even
that
worse, he'll sit on you.
Yeah.
Chris, are you saying that you're the
Doom
opposite of a
Slayer,
Slender Man?
and you will rip and tear them.
That too.
So next time you
Don't
guys
underestimate
encounter
weight.
a big man, tall man, or slender man, just get yourself a Chris to
Who are you gonna
Fend it off.
call?
find a Chris. Find a Chris True if you can. If not, get a generic copy at your local grocery store.
Remember to feed it cheese at least once a week, else it gets cranky.
I
And
would advise.
by
against
God,
that.
keep it away from Warpstone.
I would advise against getting a cheap alternative at your local grocery store. The original accepts no substitutes.
That's the thing. He's going to hunt your pet down, so don't let him know.
Yes, don't let him get too hungry, or it'll be your
Yes, and
demise.
that.
All
Bring
right.
tomatoes.
We got Alp. We got some wonderful artwork here. By the way, Dio. Dio, look at Darth Phonics' share and let me know if you've heard of that. I'm just wondering how well known it is in German folklore. And I'll check up on that. Schwarzwald. Okay. Dio shared. An Alp is a supernatural being in German folklore. Awesome. I love these old, almost ancient paintings. I absolutely love them. If I'd be very, very rich, I would own them. For now, I could get nice copies. The Alp is sometimes likened to a vampire. It wears a magic hat called Tarncape. Tarncape? Cape?
Did someone say magic hat?
From where it gets its powers. Its victims are
Alright, my
often
Team Fortress 2 sense is tingling. I need to get this hat.
Its victims are often females. It attacks them during the night, controlling their dreams and creating horrible nightmares. The outperforms this when it sits on a sleeper's chest and becomes heavier until crushing weight awakens the sleeping person. Awesome. So we have the phenomenon, or the phenomena of sleep paralysis, or that feeling that many people sometimes feel when they're sleeping, added with this folklore creature, which is a nice little combination. And how about a combination of this creature along with the big man above? This one comes, it gives you nightmares, gives you the feeling of your chest crushing, you wake up, and then big man takes you away.
So you're saying that chest crushing is not normal? Noted.
Nice.
Sounds like a lot of monsters involve
Noted.
your dreams, involve controlling and your dreams and giving you nightmares.
I mean, people like to interpretate meanings in the nightmares and dreams because they had them for a reason, wouldn't they? So what do they mean? I mean, in the Bible even, there is this entire section where this rando, that is in prison even, gets control of the entirety of Egypt. Yes, I know, it's weird.
Dio says he thinks he did hear about the Grubman, the big man, of the Dark Forest in Germany. He's thinking possibly. Darth Phonics says that a lot of folklore comes from that forest. Sounds like a forest to add to the list of places to visit. And film. Blender Man, says Pro. He blends you to death, adds JMPF. Makes heck of a good smoothie, adds Louis Zenadog. Nice. All right. Very cool. Thank you for adding that along with these ancient paintings.
I wouldn't call them ancient, more like medieval/Renaissance.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
ancient ones are usually made on caves.
Yeah, correct. So, I was trying not to... I was kind of leading to, like, on the edge of ancient, but not quite there yet. It's going to take maybe a few
Couple
hundred
thousand
more years. Or thousands. So, Arthur needs to talk more German. All right. So, anything else here? That was fun. Okay, let's go on to the next person. That was Darth Phonics. JMPF, did you want to share anything today? I don't want to put you on the spot, but you're welcome to speak, or right? Moment of silence for JMPF. Let's see if Super OCD is sneaking about as well. If we need to give her a moment of silence. Everybody, language, be right back. Wait a sec. Ask another person. Okay, gotcha. All right. Who else do we have here? Dande. Dande, did you share yet? I don't remember. I don't think he did. Let's hear it, Dande. Okay, Dande. The floor is yours. The sky is mine. Well, I'm in between two at the moment. Okay. Sounds hot. Literally. Had to throw that in. Shout out to Pro.
Why isn't Pro here today, by the way?
Did you ask why isn't he, or why is he?
Why isn't he here today?
He is. He's as I said, he left the Discord, but he is joining us in on the YouTube chat. His name there is Creative Equinox. That is one of his oldest
Why?
username. As I mentioned before, the Monstercast, some disagreements with another member. I'll just leave it at that for now. That's part of it. Okay, so 50-50. Okay, so Dande, I guess Dande and Phonics are going at the same time, which is fine. So let's keep an eye on them. Phonics. Oh wait, no, Phonics already went. He says he found a picture of Grobman. Okay, let's take a look at that. Ooh, so
That could be
mysterious. So blurry. So rare. Wonderful. And he is clothed. I was imagining kind of more of a silhouette, but he is clothed. He has the spindly kind of body. Long arms. Look at that face, guys. You can make up so much out of that face if you wanted to. You can make
He does kind of
antennas.
look like a medieval version of the Slender Man.
Right, even I don't know, you could put some tentacles on that face or a cycloptic eye.
I mean, it's missing the dragon wings to get the entire, flavor, but it's the essence. I mean, the springboard.
You got it. Go to the next person. Okay, so he's getting his stuff ready. His laptop is acting up. Okay. Is that John because of the spaghetti arms? Right. Giano is.
Never forget it.
Okay, JMPF is back. Let's see if he joins in. JMPF, the floor is yours. This guy is mine. I'm suspicious. Speaking of smoothies, a lot of monsters were once human. Louis on YouTube says, a lot of monsters were once human. It is until when the chain of life is broken that they become supernatural. They become monsters. Okay, John is gonna love mine. Okay. You can speak if you want, JMPF. Just slowly, if you're shy. Word of advice to those people that are shy and speak for the first time. Just keep it slow.
Talking.
Yeah.
It only gets better.
Exactly, and keep it slow. Don't rush yourself, because that's where it gets mixed up and it gets stressful for you. Just keep it slow, word by word. We're patient. We just want to understand everything and enjoy you. Jono is around. He is on the phone, so not sure if he can hear us. JMPF still typing out. Okay, anybody else during that in voice? I think we got everybody covered in voice. Right? Did you go see?
No, I don't think so.
All right, see. While we wait
Should
for
I take it
JMPF.
away?
Yes, take it away.
All right. I want to cover one of my most beloved creatures of all time. Unironically, it is what's it called? A really interesting creature, if for no other reason that men at sea are lonely and they want to see something nice, even if it is a seal. I mean, mermaids has always captivated great many people with the simple fact that there lives people underwater, and there are people like us, thoughtful, intelligent, and most certainly not necessarily malicious in.
Yeah, and they have fish tails.
Yes, fish tails. Yes, I know, it's weird. I will leave out the important discussion about which is the better, but the fish tail person are the ones to talk about. Let me find the picture. I have a really beautiful illustration from one of the first books I ever read about mermaids. It was Hans Christian Andersen, The Little Mermaid. It's black and white, I think this can go.
Oh, okay.
Now, the concept of mermaids existed before Hans Christian Andersen wrote his story, and Disney adopted it into a animated style. They're eventually going to remake in God knows when. I'm not excited. The thing is that The Little Mermaid is on its own a masterpiece. It romanticized the ideas of these creatures, and there has been many interpretations of the mermaid. The folklore is usually tied to the sea, the ocean, sitting on rocks, or otherwise singing God knows what. Well, the most common explanation behind them is that they were seals that, sailors just see them slipping into the ocean. They could imagine things. And I wouldn't say that it is beautiful in here, even if it is kind of biased towards a certain amount of aquatic preferences.
Z, we know you like the fish on top part. You don't need to squirt around it.
Chris, shut your hole. I'm going to find a fish big enough to stuff up your nose. All right, enough about that. The thing is
Come
that,
at
Wow, you
me.
guys get along really well, don't you?
well, you'll be
true love.
surprised. Oh, this is when we behave. We're going full at it in private.
Oh boy.
That came out wrong.
Enough said.
All I'm gonna
One of
say
you
to
melts.
that thread is, come at me, you bargain bin Star Trek villain reject.
Okay, hang on a moment. The mermaids have, aquatic people. What can I say? The ocean is big, it's scary, and it's filled with creatures we cannot see or identify. We can barely even see a few meters in where it's deepest, and the mysteries of the ocean keeps entangling us in drawing us to it. 70% of the world is covered in ocean, if not a tiny bit more. And, the prospect of there being live creatures, people, with their own cities, and maybe even the sunken world down there that never could truly be claimed by us, or seen. It has captured the imagination of artists, poets, and philosophers for the longest time. And I'm fairly certain that there has always been a certain alluring aspect to the ocean, despite people living down there and actually not knowing what's down there.
Mm-hmm. Mystery of the unknown.
Yes.
In this
truly.
case, it didn't create only fear, but it did create some beautiful conceptions
I
as
mean,
well.
the idea of having creatures that live down there is pretty noble too. I mean, most life is in the ocean due to the simple benefit of there being simply a lot more animals than larger habitats.
Well,
No, wait.
it is like we always knew there was life in the ocean because we've been like fishing and stuff in the ocean. Pretty much every culture that's been near the ocean knows that there's life in it.
Yes.
And when we make stories up about places unknown, we always make up like creatures and stuff and things that we think could be them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well,
See, do you
primarily-
know where the oldest mermaid stories stem from?
Well, I'm Danish, so the most known one I know is, of course, Hans Christian Andersen himself. What's it called? The one that wrote The Little
Technically,
Mermaid.
before an older one, that would be the sirens from ancient Greek mythology.
Yes, but those are, well, Hans Christian Andersen coined the term. Didn't coin the term The Little Mermaid, but it
So
most
he-
certainly put it into common knowledge a few hundred years later.
And he was Danish? See?
Yes, he was Danish.
Oh, okay. Nice. It's nice to hear you guys share creatures from your end of the world, too. That's always
Well, the
nice
thing
plus.
is that the sirens are not entirely the same concept. I mean, I can tell a fun folklore story from a little place I go to every now and then called Lesser. It's lying in the middle of Kattegat, if anyone got that. The ocean between Denmark and Sweden. There lies a little island, and the sirens were said to lure people with song and charming looks, for all intents and purposes, into the rocks, and I think it was eating them, either that.
Yes, Z, just a quick question. Little ocean. Did you forget there's a word called sea?
Yes,
See,
a
forgot the
little
word
ocean.
sea.
The sirens in Greek mythology as well.
I mean, well, the thing is that the sirens crashed ships, and the thing is that on Lesser, in Kattegat, near in the part of Denmark, they, for all intents and purposes, did the same. But instead of scantily clad women with lots of hair and fishtails, they used fires on the beaches and ruined ships and plundered them. I mean, they beached. Yeah, it was a different time back then.
What absolute beaches.
Yes, absolutely. I know. I appreciate it. Now,
Gotta go, guys.
Alright.
Z and Chris, I want to see the two of you in a deathmatch ring one of these days.
Why do you
all
want Z
right,
to
we have
die?
tried that, but he came out on top due to good rolls. That was totally unfair.
Hey, bye, guys.
See ya, Gargamel.
Bye.
Thank you.
Now,
All right.
the difference between the sirens and the mermaids that Hans Christian Andersen described was that they were, what's it called? They were not Greek gods or descendants of Greek gods.
Oh, the
They were
sirens weren't descendants of Greek gods. They're just
wasn't
monsters.
Zeus dipped
Wrap it
his
up,
thing,
Louise.
didn't he? Never mind. The thing is that these creatures has human desires such as we, and they are, well, we have the beautiful tale of mermaids being people. And I mean, there also was these tales of creatures that transformed into, other things that could swim and do things in the water.
But yeah, in short, Greek mythology summarized this: Zeus, I'm gonna put my dick in it. Everybody else, don't put your dick in it. Zeus, oh, too late.
Yes, that one. Ugh. Yep, it's 2 out of
All
two and
right,
a
see.
half.
So the question for you is, you seem to enjoy the ocean and the topic of that. If you were to choose to be a creature such as that or a monster, would you choose maybe to live the rest of your life in the ocean, in the depths?
Well, that's the thing you'll see. And mermaids in Hans Christian Andersen's stories were said to live for hundreds of years until they turn into foam on the waves, which, it's still 100 years. And then again, it's living in the ocean, which is, outside Denmark, really cold, really unpleasant, and usually filled with all kinds of seaweeds I do not like. I mean,
Well, technically, they would live as long as people. It's just that the standard of the quality of life back in the day was lower, so 100 years was infinitely more impressive. It still is, but it doesn't have the same ring to it as today.
yeah,
True.
sure.
Good point. Good
Still,
point.
still, the guarantee of 100 years is better than the guarantees of getting hit by a car. You don't get hit by a car in the water. I'm saying that now, and then some fool drives his car off a boat somewhere and hits me. That would totally mark my death. I mean,
All right,
Now,
see,
let-
so give us some closing thoughts. We have a few more to go through here.
well, what can I say except there's a lot of fish out there.
Alrighty.
See, I would just like that. You could try a submarine instead, but then this could happen. Look in Monster's main voice cavern.
C
Oh
is
boy,
a
of course.
submarine.
When Russia invades, we're all going to die.
Nice.
Either that or nuclear winter, where Russia has the advantage due to it already being so
Chris.
fucking cold.
Chris, I love that image. It's so human. There's a monster down there. Let's attack. We
Yes.
shall destroy it. I'm happy that C shared a creature that is non-metallic and actually almost in some ways the opposite, or would corrode metal. Thank you, C. Maybe your secret lover of the future, or mysterious lover that we do not know yet, will be of the wetness side. So C, just prepare a ton of oil and get ready. Strap on
I
your...
mean, if I
So
should
is
go
he-
onto an oil rig, I would
Dot,
get
dot.
infinitely closer to the ocean.
So is Z a secret fan of the Waterworld movie with Kevin Costner?
Water
Ooh.
World. Wait, the one with what was it called?
Shout out.
The
Water
one
World.
with the guy with the boat. The Earth was floated, and there was a tiny bit of
Yes.
island.
Yes.
Oh yes, I am a fan of that. It's basically Mad Max, but in the ocean.
Yay.
Same. I don't care what people say about that movie. It was a good movie.
It's a great movie.
I
It
mean,
is.
it was 80s. Could you really fault
90s.
them for having logic in it? Or
90s.
for not having? Well, where's the picture I made? I made
Okay.
a picture I wanted to show.
Oh, yes.
Good.
Share
Ah,
your
yeah, I'm
picture.
going to-
Oh, there it is. Oh, no, that's Dande's. That's lovely, Dande. There is a mermaid on YouTube. Obviously not a real mermaid, but a lady that has her mermaid, bottom part, which is common. You can buy those, but she has a rather nice one, that she puts on and swims around as a mermaid in like lakes, famous places, and swimming pools, and that's her YouTube channel. She has quite a few followers, actually. Okay,
I
I'm gonna.
mean, if I was pretty enough to put on a suit and go places, I probably would do that too.
Who said you're not, C? Who said you're not? Try it out.
I need a better suit then.
There you go. That's the problem. Okay, I'm going to read on Raincrawler's behalf. He wanted to share something as well. Raincrawler, he's part of the Discord as well, but usually he joins us live over on YouTube. We did look at his submission earlier. Once again, shout out to that. Awesome work. Okay, Raincrawler says, El Cadios, he was a man who used to drink a lot, so his father cursed him. In other places, they're even said to have two Cadillos, a good and an evil one. The Cadillos look like a wolf covered with chains. Wait, but it's a man. Oh, but used to drink a lot, so it turned into a wolf kind of with chains. Kind of a werewolfish, a little bit of a story. I'm assuming it's either from Spain or Mexico, so I'm thinking it's Mexico. El Cadillos. What say you, Raincrawler? Tell me.
Cadejo. It's spelled Cadejo.
Nice. Say again?
It's spelled Cadejo.
Cadejos.
Cadejo.
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 And JMPF, is it from Mexico?
I don't think so, but it's from Latin America.
Okay. Okay, so it is from the south of the U.S. then. Okay, so it is from that area, not Spain. And our friend JMPF is from Mexico, so he can always help us with things from that area. So thanks for that. Cool. So it is Latin America. All right, very cool. Very cool. There was a lot of stuff from there too. Tons of awesome stuff. So
Usually, if it sounds Spanish and it's cool, then it's definitely from Latin America. Spain doesn't have that many interesting things.
right. I can't remember hearing anything.
It has
from
Portugal. Oh
Spain.
wait, never mind. That's another.
Uh-oh. Kirsten
Please don't murder me in Spanish.
Okay, moving onward, we're going on to JMPF. If you guys want a particular topic discussed next week, think about it now. JMPF, he shared el sombreron. Ooh, sombrero. I'm guessing he wears a big sombrero. Sombrero.
That sounds like a Godzilla villain from Mexico.
I can now imagine a kaiju that just has a big, giant, organic sombrero. I don't know.
Go ahead, JMPF. If you want to say anything. Okay. I'm just watching this mic going on and off. From Guatemala is an entity who appears under ladies' windows with his guitar. Okay, so like a sombrero guy. Not a mariachi almost. That's what I'm thinking of. And curse their hair because he's obsessed with braiding it. Nice. What a gentleman. He's so romantic. They have to cut it off and bless it to get rid of the curse. He's very short, like 1 meter, so about 3 feet, and uses an oversized hat. He rides a horse and has some dogs around it. Huh. So he's a dwarf that... So again, it makes you think of Rumpelstiltskin, a little bit of the leprechaun, another short person of another culture that has a particular fetish, and his fetish is braiding women's hair. Is this as far as he goes? I wonder how violent he gets with it. You try to stop him and he'll tear you apart.
Depends on what he uses for the braids.
I like it. It leaves a lot to be imagined. That's why I like him. It's kind of simple, and that's a good thing sometimes. Any thoughts?
Nice.
I like C's mermaid. It's a mechanical mermaid.
Yes,
greatest
a
loves
Necron mermaid.
Necron mermaid. Beautiful. They should have a... Do they have a Necron mermaid?
No, not in canon, but
Not
you
yet.
know, there's enough Necrons out there that at least one can have a fixture.
Absolutely. Okay, so awesome share, JMPF. I do like it. Sombreron. Cool. I hope to remember.
To be fair, most of the Necrontyr were rather degenerate, so it's not possible.
Chris, I like that.
Now you're projecting
No.
your own faculties upon
Take
others.
it easy, C.
Please refrain from that.
He was just teasing
I'm
you.
not projecting anything.
So
I'm just
Earlier-
comparing you to the one race that you couldn't actually step up to, the Eldar, so I'm paying you a compliment.
oh boy. Earlier I mentioned it'd be cool to make a video with the category of tall, thin men. So we had the 3 monsters. But now it'd be also cool to make a, not dwarf, I don't want to use the word dwarf, but short man, short humanoid category video where we could have the sombrero, that we can have the other ones I mentioned, Rumpelstiltskin, maybe not quite as short as gnomes, but, dwarvish, little person size.
What about we just call them halflings?
No.
And they can have a party. Sombreron would be the lead of the party. Which reminds me of that SCP episode we did together, which was awesome. Everybody had their own from their birthday, and we had a big party. All right. If you guys remember that Monstercast. Good times. Let's see. Creative Pro says next week we should discuss what kind of monster we think is wearing Donde's body like a meat suit. He went beyond just calling it a mask. It's a meat suit. Absolutely. Okay, going on. And with that, speak of the devil, we're going to go with Donde. Donde is sharing his. I'll share this one, as it's the same state as mine. Okay, let me remember. Donde is in Arizona, I believe, and this image helps me remember that, I think. Okay, so it's in the same state in the United States as where he is. It is the Spider Rock, which is located in a park here. What is the name of the park, Donde? There's a Native American folklore, Navajo around it, which Spider Woman lives up on top of these rock formations and has made them her home. Supposedly, she leaves this place to eat youth who have been naughty. Okay, so
I can just imagine her waking up in the middle of the night and thinking, someone drank him too much milk. Num num num.
Oh, see. You're getting worse. So yeah, Spider-Woman is a fascinating folklore entity in of itself, but she sits high upon these towering rocks, and then goes down to
Okay, I'm getting what demolition charges.
punish
If there
naughty
actually is a giant
kids.
spider up there, I'm going to kill it.
Another monster category: monsters that punish naughty kids. That would
Okay,
be a
that's
fun
only
one.
50% of people that you'll have to cut away. No, I'm
Okay, what else do we have here? Okay, so thank you for sharing that, Donde. It made me think of something else here, folklore in the United States, a little one. See, wouldn't like it.
Of course not.
Donde says, I was told of a few different versions of that one. One where there were witches lying around the base and you'd hear them at night. But that, I would suppose, would go to the people losing track of the story. Yeah, I would assume so, Donde. But it mainly centers around a spider woman living at the top. And the light part of the rock formation is actually bones. Ooh. Yeah, that very top is white. Beautiful. I'm assuming bones of the naughty children. Ooh. Lovely. Now we know where the bodies go. Did you hear about the Devil's Canyon? Okay. I think we're done. I think everybody shared. John is heading home. Almost there. Okay, he wants us to wait for him. Okay, so I think we'll be on here until he gets home. So, has everybody gone so far?
I mean,
I have gone.
Can only speak for yourself. Okay. Yeah, looks like everybody's gone in voice. Everybody's gone in text. Let's see. Louis says Spider-Woman sounds sexy. Thank you, Louis. Chief Joseph sounds... he says Spider-Woman does whatever a spider can. Johnny Guitar, fashionably late as usual. Pro says. Okay, so I guess I'll shout out one real quick. I wasn't gonna say shout out one, just I don't know because, but it made me think of it what Donde shared. You guys might know about Devil's Tower here, especially if you saw the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Have you seen that? Steven Spielberg.
Never heard of it.
Oh,
Nope.
I
never
heard of it, but I've never seen it.
it's either a late '80s movie or
Yes,
early
I've seen it.
'90s movie. It's a great movie, guys. Hold on, I'm writing the wrong thing.
I seem to have lost a file of original Mermaid.
It's called Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but it features this tower there. It's a UFO or alien movie, but it's a beautiful movie. Once again, it's a Spielberg production. It's really well done, and it's about an alien visitation upon Earth. It's and the government getting connected with that. It's not like a horror movie. It's a
It sounds like a prequel to MIB.
pretty brilliant movie. As a movie, I'd say better in terms of quality, but okay. So here's Devil's Tower. Here's an image of that. And the little folklore or legend here that the natives had is, if I can get the... there we go. And I know I learned of it because I visited Devil's Tower years ago. I went to check it out. It's believed that this, and it is monster related because this giant bear, if you look at this painting, and I originally saw this painting at the visitor center there, it's believed that this bear created this mountain by scratching it down like that. And that's the belief, how it came to be. I wonder if you knew about that, Donde, or any of our other American friends here. Cool, I'm getting watermelons. Yay. So that is the belief. What it truly is it used to be a volcano, I believe, and the regular sort of rock and stone withered away in time, and it left the interior volcanic stiffened lava stone intact. And now it's a great place for sightseeing, hiking around, and of course for rock climbers or mountain climbers. And there's a lot that go up there. And there's a lot of poop bags everywhere too. I'm not sure if I heard. Hopefully not anymore. I've seen... Okay, yeah, so I'm sure a lot of people are aware of this stone, but pretty cool. Giant bear. Love the idea of a giant bear. Shout out to giant bears out there. Say something. Any thoughts, people? Devil's Tower?
It sounds pretty neat. Giant bears.
Yeah.
See, now because I remember stuff Coyote has said, I'm wondering if that refers to the same bear who killed two unfortunate lovers because it was damn rabbit in a...
I wonder that too. As there's so many different Native American groups. And I'm wondering, like, what more of the lore is there to this bear? Like, does it end at that? Or is it really, really ancient, like before humans came to exist? Things like that. Not sure if okay, let's see. There's a meme. Do I know this meme? Okay. Shout out to Pro there. Pro's happy. Good old Weird Al. Parodied The Simpsons. Okay, catching up with you guys over on YouTube. Louis says, Close Encounters of the Third Kind is awesome. Had a blast watching the guy build a mashed potato mountain. Exactly, because he was like getting these feelings. Yeah, it was a very cool movie. I watched it pretty recently again. Okay, Kaiju Bear, says Louis. All right, where's John? John disappeared. Looks like he's getting on the computer. So, all right, guys, let's choose a topic for next week. Any thoughts? I was thinking, what was I thinking? Oh, Weird Al. That's what he was talking about, the parody. Nice. Monster Companion? Okay, Donda's going with Flying Monsters again. Okay, so we have that one. Let's go with I was thinking something monster companion, monster friend. I think we talked about something like that in the past. I'm not sure. Did we talk about having a monster friend? Monster companion?
Monster friends or companion monsters or familiars.
Mm-hmm. Have we had such
Or
a
like
topic?
E.T.
I do not believe so.
Okay, I'll throw that one out there. Yeah, monster companion. Like, if you could have a monster friend, like a best friend. Now you have to think. Now I'm talking about in this reality, this society, our lives as they are. If you could suddenly have a monster friend, who would it be and why? That's my suggestion. SCP cast
Can I
number
have
2.
Godzilla?
Okay, JMPF says Lovecraftian monsters. SCP cast 2. Okay, and that's enough. Okay, so let's stop it at that. Next week, talk
I'm
about
gonna
real kaiju.
go for monster.
What's that, Chris?
I'm gonna go for monster friend.
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna type them out real quick so I don't forget them. So flying monsters, monster friend, Lovecraftian monsters.
Let's see. What kind of monster would I kind of
SCP.
want to have as a friend?
102.
A Pharaon.
No, I would like to be a Pharaon. Having a Pharaon as a friend would most certainly not advantageous for me.
Winter
Why?
monsters.
Most certainly because having a friend that is that dominant can be a healthy relationship in a period
Okay.
of time.
John was getting ready. Okay, guys, so let's do the vote. Jono added winter monsters, so we'll add that one as well. Okay, so our options.
Aren't we
Listen
a little
up.
bit early for winter monsters?
Actually, I'd agree with
Hmm.
that. That is a tiny bit early, just a tiny bit.
Good point. Let's reserve that for a little bit later. So we'll stay with the 4 that we came up with. Okay, guys, to reiterate, listen up, everybody. These are the options. Flying monsters, monster friend, Lovecraftian monsters, or Monstercast about SCP Monsters 102, since we've had a 101 before. All right, guys, share your votes. Let me go down the... try to just write it out so it's easy to count. Chris said monster friend. Pro
I
is
know
going...
now what kind of a monster I would like for a friend.
Pro is going with monster friend.
I would like to monster friend, yes.
Got you as monster friend, Arthur. Thank you, Louis. Raincrawler is going Lovecraftian monster. C is going monster friend. That's 3. Dande's going flying monsters. Lovecraft, JMPF is going, if I can't mind, then flying. Okay, Lovecraftian for him. So that's 2 Lovecraftian against 3 and 1. Okay. You can choose your own. Darth chooses SCP, so that's 1 for that, 1 for flying. Looks like Monster Friend is in the lead. Anybody hasn't cast their vote, please do so. Dio, did you cast your vote? Dio.
Did you hear me?
C, yes.
Excellent.
What did you say again?
I was monster friendly.
I think I caught you. I don't know. If not,
Yes,
then that
you
would
did.
be... I did. Okay, so that's 3. Not including my vote. I'm not sure yet. I guess I'd go with my own. Or assume. We need Griffo to decide again. Break the tie. I think we're in the lead with Monster Friend. Let's see, Chris. Dio still needs to vote, I think. Come on, Dio, wake up. He tends to fall asleep during these things. It's late over there. Jono, also, vote. Okay, Dio says flying, so that's 2 for flying.
I suddenly realized something. I forgot to add a monster last week with edible monsters.
That was not last week.
For
What would you like to add,
uh,
C?
yes, the flying spaghetti monster.
Beautiful. Right in time for Jono, too. Perfecto.
I need to vote. Hold on. I proposed Winter Monster, but I don't think it's a thing. So Lovecraftian for me.
Okay, Lovecraftian for you, so that's 2 Lovecraftian. By the way, welcome, Jono. Hope you
Hey, Arkham.
got here safely in that rush.
If I had a friend, never friend.
Monster tiebreaker. Okay, so yeah, we were talking, Jono, that would be a great recommendation a little later in the year when it does come closer to winter time.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys. So I believe the next topic will be monster best friend, monster companion. We'll leave it with those terms instead of familiar, as Chris also mentioned. Keep it more specific to actual friend. Okay, so that is next week's
Chris,
topic.
check your PMs. I have already found my candidate.
I know that's not a monster, Z.
It is.
Oh,
It is the
No,
most
he does not
beautiful.
count. He is beautiful. He does not count as a monster. How dare you insult him like that?
Skaven counts with monsters.
Yes.
Let's leave the floor for Jono. Jono,
Yeah.
please.
Okay, I have
Yes.
two picks for today. The first one being a proper monster, the other one being a more spiritual thing. Okay, first one, sorry. One is the Jersey Devil. I've always been fond of this cryptid slash folklore monster. I don't even know why, but probably because of the old mashup of different creatures and the history behind it. So yeah, it always interested me as a kid, probably more than any other cryptid slash folklore monster. Um,
Nice.
so that's it.
And we did give
Probably
that one.
that's it. I didn't prepare any um, how to say it, any discussion or thing because I wasn't prepared. The second one is the knifing pole or need stagger, you can call it as you want, is in hidden folklore you use a knitting pole, which is basically a stick with a horse skull on it. It can be a buffalo, but usually it's a horse, to send a curse to someone who had done you wrong. And spiritually, you can also send a curse to prevent people from corrupting a certain place or a certain thing. For example, in Tagalog song Black Lake Nidstag, Nidstag is used to prevent people from corrupting a lake. So yeah, that's my picks for today.
Awesome.
Interesting.
And it's interesting because we did cover the Jersey Devil a little bit. We did shout him out earlier because we were discussing a little bit what makes a monster a folklore monster or even a cryptozoology category monster a folklore monster. And Jersey Devil did get brung up. So confirmation on that, I'd say, from
Yeah,
Jono's behalf.
it comes from the North American folklore, but it's also considered a cryptid. I don't know why. I don't think it exists.
Because of the
I think
more recent
it's
sightings.
it's a legend, but for sure not a cryptid.
Right, because of the more recent presumed sightings and such. That's where I guess it goes more into crypto field is once people say they have footage or have seen it. Yeah, that second one is fascinating. What is that second one called again?
Oh, I'm gonna write it.
Okay. Anything. The Nidstag. Okay. Anything or Nidstag. And that is of Native American culture as well?
I think you can find it even in the American pole, but it's from the Germanic pagan traditions.
Oh, I
It
see.
comes from Germany. Also Iceland. I think maybe it was used in America either, but I don't know. I doubt it actually.
Okay. So seeing this outside is not a good sign.
Yeah, of course, it's sign of a curse.
A curse. Very interesting.
Okay, I need a chainsaw and a few things, and I should
Again,
be-
fire. Right? Chainsaw.
I mean, a shotgun would do, but a chainsaw would.
A chain gun shot,
Lovely.
a chain shotgun.
Oh, stop.
All right,
Stop.
I'll just say it.
No.
A space marine. Just drop down a space marine.
No, Space Marine alone can't do shit. You need at least a chapter, at least 1,000 Marines before anything happens.
With what?
Or a single Necron.
Nah, single Necron. I mean, Necron will get the job
Nice.
done. Just not very
No.
fast.
Necron mermaid.
No. That is even worse.
Shot chainsaws to it. I love what JMPF wrote. I don't know if it's a joke or not, but I love the quote. Shot chainsaws to it. Shoot it with chainsaws.
It technically is a spinning
With freaking
shotgun.
laser on
It's
them.
a mini chain shotgun. It's a shotgun that has a minigun as a barrel, so it can fire more rapid.
Are you referring to one of the weapons of our Lord and Savior, the Doomslayer?
Yes.
Louis Zenadog says, I've seen the Jersey Devil. It was a trip to see a different species of the blood goat beings. Well.
Alright, I need to check the live chat too. I haven't opened YouTube. I'm
Oh,
sorry I came this late today.
By the way, Jono,
So,
Pro is on there as Creative Equinox. He did give you a shout out earlier because I mentioned your music, your live guitar play of Blue Oyster.
I saw the comment.
Yep, cool. So yeah, guys,
But,
and remember,
That's it.
after this Monstercast, if you haven't yet, and even if you have, go to our channel, our Voices of the Monsterhood channel, and check out Jono playing Godzilla on guitar, kicking ass. Seriously.
Godzilla.
Glad to have someone with that guitar skill level in our band here, in our Monsterhood band.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. All right. I want to say, ladies and gents, just to make us sound like we're bigger than we really are here.
So what's next one topic?
Next topic, the vote was more toward monster friend. So once again, if you could imagine having a monster friend in this reality, this time, with you here, with you somehow, which monster companion or friend would you choose? Alrighty.
Oh, I know.
Awesome.
Can I pick C?
I already have my pick.
Chris, you cannot pick C. Okay, you can
Aw.
pick C, but if you...
I'm not that much of a monster.
Aw.
No, you're just a weirdo.
C?
Thank
And I love
you.
you for it. And I love you for it.
Aw.
Excellent. Then we're equal.
Beautiful. Excellent. Love you guys. Alright, anybody have any questions, comments, gripes for today? Reflections on today's episode? Discussion? Manila. I prefer Manila over Manila. Oh boy. Manila with nips. Thanks, Jono. Thanks for playing the part of Procrastitron in our group here on Discord today. Are you happy, Pro? Although
Not the
Pro
same.
hates him.
We miss you, bro.
I very much miss Bro.
Yeah. I think it's a mutual feeling, especially the second day there, Pro, to be honest. But I don't want to continue that on the stream too much, but Pro is dearly missed. I'm just glad he can join us here, at least.
This is here.
Any favorites, guys, today that were mentioned?
Let's see. Of course, I have my own, but what else would there be out there that I could truly...
Shout out to Donde's successful challenge of eye monsters or eyes. Those were awesome. Very cool
Who won
solutions.
Dundas
Very creative.
challenge?
No winner yet. We were discussing who we liked the most there. That's at the beginning of the episode, Jono. We were sharing our
I
thoughts.
liked. I must say that I really liked the Giant one, basically for the history about it, because also he invented it, etc. And so I really liked this um, this one, and also I really liked Briefus one. So yeah, these two for me.
Yep. Let's see, JMP. I think his was the eyes that still see. Yeah, that one was awesome. And the other one you mentioned as well, Jono. I remember Chris and I shared our thoughts, maybe see on that one as well. Very cool. I was impressed by the effort and lore that they went into. Better lore than you see in most new movies now, I'd have to say.
I mean, back then they knew how to make movies. They made giant worms burrowed through the ground at speeds that would make a speeder in Star Wars look like a slow poke. Tremors was such a good movie.
Oh yeah, indeed. Really like the first three. I really like them.
I mean, I really loved the fact when Bert just became the main focus of the entire series. I loved him from the first movie, and he became even better in the second, and I don't know what happened to him afterwards. He just became... It was the same, but
Bert's
it was
being
less... what was it? Bert Gummer.
The
The character in the Tremors movie that actually is the only one that had enough firepower to take care of the...
Would you guys say they're all worthy of a watch? Because I do want to watch the latest one, because it's, they always do that throwback a little bit. Okay. All right, see.
All right.
Let's see what else here. Okay, I think
kind of just want to skip 2020 because Kong versus Godzilla.
Yes. I mean, Tremors, however, I would recommend it. Just saying.
Speaking of cool things to watch, have you guys by chance seen this one anime of King Kong versus Godzilla? Let me try to find who was the YouTuber that made it. It was amazing.
Yeah, throw down a link once you do find it.
Yes, I found the animation itself. It is by a gentleman of Zimout Animation, and it's absolutely amazing. I hope the King Kong vs. Godzilla movie is at least, the fights in them to be at least half as dynamic as this one.
I mean, online people don't have to wait half a year to render a scene like they probably have to do with, King of Monsters. Oh, Godzilla.
Sure.
No, I mean choreography.
Oh. I'm still in love with the one time where Godzilla punched Ghidorah through a building. That was beautiful.
Oh yeah.
That was
when
nice.
Ghidorah sees Godzilla's reflection in the building, then he basically throws him into it.
Because the guy who makes this animation is also, from what I read in his description, like his bio, he's a martial artist, so he tries to incorporate that into the fights that he animates.
Nice.
And he's also done a fight between Saitama and the Hulk. Voice acting could do some work, but the actual fight itself, dare I say, it looks better than what One Punch Man Season 2 has offered.
One Punch Man. One Punch Man. Saitama is the One Punch Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm impressed with what he accomplished with his animation style, because he's doing a rather very simple type of animation, which as a YouTuber you kind of have to.
I think we call it flash animation.
But he really, and the close-ups, he got it right. It's all about like Chris mentioned, the choreography and the directing of the actual animation, how it goes. Like most artists say, it's not about which paintbrush you choose. The art is from the artist. We can choose a piece of chalk and still create something amazing, and I think this video can attest to that. Nice. I'm playing it silently right now, so I don't want to spoil it for people. I was just curious, so I'm stopping it now. Nice, the billowing smoke. Very nice, very nice. Very clean. All right, Monsterites and Monsterites. Louis says he loves Tremors movies. One Punch Man Season 2 is all right. I like the first one better. I still have to get into that.
Yeah.
Still have to watch it either.
Mhm.
I'm one of the people who doesn't really care about the visuals if they are not like god awful atrocious. I'm just chugging along for the story. I don't mind it,
Mhm.
which
I
is why I
mean,
haven't had a problem with season 2. Season 1 is objectively just infinitely
Chris, if you
superior to
don't
season
mind the thing, you should read the manga, as cliche as that sounds.
2.
Mm.
I don't really have the time for that. But yeah, this fight here
You can
that
watch 22 minutes. You can read at least a few chapters of the manga.
it no. So in this fight here that he has animated is objectively speaking just better than season 2.
Alrighty, guys. Gonna wrap this up. At least this portion of it. You guys are more than welcome to always stick around here and chat and argue. Although respectful arguments or discussions other than C and Chris, those can go wherever they please because they're enjoyable either way. All right, Pro. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you over on YouTube in the comments. And anywhere else you peek your head out. That sounded odd. Anyway, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. And all of you guys on there as well. Raincrawler, Louis Zenadog. Who else joined us only from that side? Oh, Helldrake. That's Chris.
That's me.
I didn't notice you were there today. Cool. You've used the ability of being in 2 places at once as well. I congratulate you. And yeah, that's all. Okay. So thank you everybody for watching. Let's okay, I'll give you final words. Darth Phonics, final words. JMPF, final words. Final words. As we go to die again for a week and then come back to life next weekend. Jono, final words.
Goodbye. Have a good day, /night, afternoon, everything from everywhere you're from.
Beautiful. Reminded me of... Go ahead.
No, nothing. That's all.
Beautiful. It reminded me of the Truman Show. Good morning, good evening, and good night. Let's see. We have Dio. Your last words. Chris Chu.
On behalf of Victor, do not fear the unknown. Seek it out, study it, understand it. And from myself, fear the unknown. Shoot it in the face with a shotgun.
Lovely. Love the yin-yang right there.
How uncivilized.
And that was C's last words.
I mean, I like
Said the general. Said the General Grievous off.
I mean, General Grievous at his worst was still better than Skaven at their best.
No. Awesome as he is not as awesome as Skaven.
I disagree.
All right. And with that, well, I could always just decrease the volume slowly as they argue and end it with music like that. I do like that approach, but I have to make sure they play the part. All right, C, any final words from you specifically?
Necrons.
Okay, beautiful. All right, guys, and without further ado, let's go on into going into our slumber of RL. Farewell, everybody. Have a great day or night wherever you are. Thank you, Monster Rights, for participating.
We're still waiting for JMPF and Darphonics.
Yes, in text. I think they've already slumbered away.
They were typing.
Until...
Goodbye.
There they go. Until
Be
next
careful
week.
of the goods.
Have a wonderful, monstrous week. I love my hair, says Dio. Oh boy, Dio's in the process of changing. We're open here. And yeah, remember, the new challenge will be announced. Next topic will be Monster Friend. Let's wait for Darth Phonics, and that'll be it. I'll play the music. You guys can say your last goodbyes now. Cue music. Bye. We were waiting the whole time for Phonics to write bye. Thank you, Phonics.
Great meme.
Or Phoenix now.
I approve.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. That made my week. Yeah. going with the music.
You know what? The real music comes now, Raph. You know that.
Hold on. Let me stop this.